All right, hello everybody. We're about to start 3 more assignments for the rest of the year. We got version 1 of multiplying and dividing rational expressions. We'll take 2 days for that, and then we have version 2 of the same topic. We'll take 2 days for that. And then our last topic is adding and subtracting rational expressions, so we'll take 2 days for that. Even though we're taking 2 days, they do count as 2 separate assignments, so make sure when you hand in like version 1, that counts as 2 assignments, so make sure you get that done. Okay, so we're going to multiply rational expressions, and you just have to remember that they multiply just like fractions with numbers in them that you learned when you learned how to multiply fractions. That is, you multiply the 2 tops together and you multiply the 2 bottoms together. However, with rational expressions, before you multiply, you want to factor whatever can possibly be factored, top or bottom of either fraction, before you start multiplying. So if we look at this first fraction, we can factor that top as k plus 6 times k minus 6. And I'm going to come back to that denominator in a minute. Second fraction does not need to be factored, so we'll just recopy it. You are going to be writing a lot on these assignments. So before we factor that first denominator, let's rewrite it. Let's factor out a -1 and then put it in the order that we like. So I'm going to factor out a -1 out of each term and then rewrite it as k squared plus 2k plus 48. Okay, so now again, we're going to factor that, and then when everything gets factored that can be factored, we'll go ahead and multiply. So just recopying the top is k plus 6 times k minus 6. Recopying the second fraction, k plus 8 times k minus 3. And now we're going to factor that first denominator as k plus 8. I think I made a mistake up there. Go back. This would have been minus 48, sorry, because we factored a -1 out of each term. So that plus 48 became minus 48. Okay, so this is going to factor then as k plus 8 times k minus 6. Okay, now we're ready to multiply, so look for stuff that cancels, and you can cancel any factor of the bottom of either fraction with any factor of the top of either fraction. The 2 factors that you cancel do not have to be in the same fraction. Okay, so I see a k plus 8 top and bottom. I'm going to cancel those. I see a k minus 6 top and bottom, so I'm going to cancel those. And nothing else cancels, so when I multiply, all I have left on top is the k plus 6. And all I have left on bottom is the k minus 3. And don't forget that negative sign in front. I'm going to go ahead and just write that in front of the fraction, and there you go. There's your answer for number 1. Okay, I'm going to do 4 of these all together. So the next one we'll do is number 5. So this time we're going to take 1 over m minus 1 and multiply that by 8m squared plus 56m over m squared plus 13m plus 42. Okay, so remember, we're going to factor wherever we can. So that first fraction is not going to be factored anymore. So it looks like the top of the second fraction, we can factor out the greatest common factor, which is 8m. So that'll leave us on top with just m plus 7. You might want to re-multiply mentally and check that to make sure you factored correctly. Looks like the bottom is going to be a guess and check trinomial. And so that's going to be m times m. And then the numbers you want are plus 6 and plus 7. Okay, let's see what cancels. It looks like we have the m plus 7 on top and bottom that will cancel. Looking around, nothing else cancels. So go ahead and multiply the top times the top and get 8m. The bottom times the bottom and get m minus 1 times m plus 6. A couple notes on that. Both factors do have to be in parentheses. and it's not necessary to multiply them out. You can just leave them like that. That's your final answer. That's good the way it is. Okay, the last two we'll do on this video would be division problems. So let's look at number 6. Next, we have 8 divided by r squared plus 7r plus 6. That fraction is divided by 8 over 8r plus 8. Now remember, think back about when you did fractions and you divided fractions, you had this technique called invert and multiply. So when you divide two fractions, you flip over the second fraction and then change to multiply. You've got to flip over the second fraction, not the first, otherwise it won't work correctly. So I'm going to recopy the first one at the same time factoring that denominator, because I know I'm going to have to do that anyway. So just recopy the first fraction while factoring the first denominator. So it's a guess and check trinomial. It's going to be r plus 1 times r plus 6. Now I'm going to change this division to multiplication. I'm going to flip over the second fraction. So now 8 is going to be on the bottom. And then 8r plus 8 is on top. So that's how you just rewrite it. We do have one more factoring to go before we multiply now. So just recopying that first fraction. It's an r, not an n. And then I'm going to factor that second numerator, so I'm going to factor out that 8, and that leaves with r plus 1 on top, and then still have that 8 on bottom. Okay, now that everything is factored that can be factored, go ahead and look around and see if you see stuff that cancels. It looks like that you got an 8 that cancels on top and bottom, as well as an r plus 1 on top and bottom. Okay. So if you look at what's have left, all you have left on top is just that 8, because the other factors got canceled on top, and all you have left on bottom is r plus 6. That's it. Everything else got canceled, so when you multiply, that's what you end up with. Okay, one more problem on this video. It's on number 10 on the back page. And again, it's a division problem, so it's number 10. So we're going to have v plus 3 divided by v plus 2. That fraction is divided by 8v squared over 8v cubed plus 16v squared. Okay, again, just recopy the first fraction the way it is. No factoring needed. Just recopy the first fraction. Change division to multiplication. Let's flip over that second fraction. So the 8v squared is now going to be on bottom. And I'm going to take a little shortcut here. I know that 8v cubed plus 16v squared is going to be on top. So I am going to put it up there, but we can maybe save a little bit of time if we go ahead and factor it as we move it. So it looks like the greatest common factor there is going to be 8v squared. And then the binomial that's left over is going to be v plus 2. So again, you can remultiply mentally and see if you get what you started to factor in the first place. It looks like that's the case. Okay, now the fun part, Joe, just factor everything that you can. Looks like the v plus 2s are going to cancel. Looks like the 8s are going to cancel. Actually, the 8v squares are going to cancel. And all you have left then on top is v plus 3. And that's, of course, that's just going to be over 1. But we would never write it that way, so we'll just write that as v plus 3. Okay, there you go. You got 16 total. 4 of them are done. The next video comes out in a couple days, so good luck and enjoy.